What really is legacy code? My name is Chris Hattas. I'm a KMP developer. I need to learn my titler better. Tech support's gonna close that thing up. They told me for sure, for sure. Today I'm gonna be on Tuesday. I'm gonna be responding to or react to Kevlin Henney, which is my favorite software architecture guys. I kind of give a lot of these guys in this space kind of a hard time. The conference circuit, the book circuit, the book-driven development baloney. We got a conference. We got a class. We got to schedule a. We're gonna revamp your developer experience. We're gonna revolutionize your development. Let's see what it has to say.
This was a post I saw a few weeks back. Angel CEO described legacy code as often defined as code that makes more design decisions than the team working on it.
I like that definition. I actually think that's pretty good. So we can't change that because if we do that, we'll have the goozle waggle and the thing will be the whizzle whacked. And if you don't understand what I'm talking about, you need to get into the dizzle wackles and do the configuration of the whizzle wing, and then you'll know. What does all that stuff mean? Well, we invented the previous developer invented a whole language. That's all that he's redefined what that stuff means. It's for efficiency purposes because we have more performance when you do it this way. But nobody can touch it now because it's so highly performant that if you touch one thing, a piece of it, it'll break 100 different things, and you'd be spending the next 2 weeks updating that stuff, and then management will come in like, "Where's that feature we asked for last week?"
It's a really good way of looking at it. I think that's a really, it's just like, So, right, we're going to have a design meeting. Who's turning up? Well, there's me, there's a couple of senior developers, we've got 4 or 5 junior developers, and we've got the code base. Hi, code base. Did you get?
Okay, I love looking at Dev Tools Make Simple. His little code snapshots. I'll be probably the only person that's looking at his B-roll code base here. And I think this is Java. Okay, he likes to do Kotlin as well. He's also Kotlin and Java. He looks like a back-end developer, and he's doing, I don't know, he's just doing some random stuff with, this is a class, like a data class. It's got a little bit of standard Java type stuff. Okay, let's keep going.
For yourself, you're good? Okay. And it turns out, there's the rest of us making decisions, and the code base is sitting there going, nope, nope, we're not going to do that. Oh, no, that's not something you can do with me, I'm afraid.
Well, was the code base designed to be extendable, modifiable, understandable, manageable, debuggable, monitorable? Like, is there a way to, like, was that part of the schedule? The 2-week sprint. We got a 2-week sprint. We want to get that feature in. Did it include all those other things? It doesn't. They often don't include any of that stuff. It's just let's get it done, move fast and break things, which is important in the phase when you're trying to do product market fit. Yes, but there comes a phase when you're like, okay, we got product market fit. We need to like sacrifice adding features and make this manageable, which means a rewrite. Manageable, maintainable, extendable, modifiable, understandable, readable, with that priority, as opposed to what the hell are we trying to do to make money so we can stay in business for 2 more weeks before somebody pulls the plug and I gotta go back to work. Job, I got another job at Google. I got a pretty good resume. So if this thing tanks, I'm gonna go back to Google.
I have a veto on this. Oh, you want to be agile? Have you seen me? No, it's just like, it's not going to happen. The code base actually has the casting vote. The code base is making the decisions, and everybody else.
Well, the previous man, not the code base. Like, I know he's trying to be cheeky about this, but he's trying to say like the code is a great not slave, but a great it's a useful thing. It's a useful tool, but it's a terrible master. That's the word. So the code base is a useful tool to get the job done for your customers, right? That you have a problem solved that you can do it in a way that's better than the way they're doing it before, and you can have profitable things. You can maintain it and grow it, etc., etc. So that's got to be in there. So that's the basics of it. But yeah. So the code base can't be in charge of all the decisions. That's the thing. And then it often is because we assume because the management goes, like, I got $1 million in that code base. They have this sunk cost fallacy. It's like, no, this is knowledge work, man. We're going to be changing this thing the whole time. We need to rewrite this thing the whole time. Like, we'll be lucky to get to the point where we need to scale it, because that means we have more customers and servers. Let's keep going.
Else is like a puppet, okay?
2 phases. And people don't want to see that. They always want to extend. Can't we just extend the thing we just slap together, put a facade on it, and they just put some lipstick on the pig to get the demo enough to get the round B of the funding? You want to extend that? Yeah, we think we need we don't really have time. We don't have time to dink around with making it solid on the inside. That seems like a luxury we can do without. It's like, you don't understand how we put this thing together. But it looks good on it. Looks, hey, it's running now. What do you mean? It's like, dude, can you just put another beefy server in there? It's like, yeah, maybe, but the way we put this thing together, we need to like redo it with this other thing in mind. You're gonna have to go 6 months, 3 months, a month, 2 months, 3 months with no features, no new nothing. As we rewrite it, which is not going to take the long as it did to get to that point of the version, the MVP or your proof of concept or your version 1. It's not going to take that long. We're just going to rewrap that thing, put all this other stuff in it so we can maintain it and make it extendable in the direction we've kind of see where we might be headed, which is always a guess, it's always a gamble, and it will always has risk of failure, which is why people don't go into these businesses, because it's risky as hell. Let's keep going.
And actually, Angel goes on to say, could we define a legacy process as one that makes more decisions on how a team functions than the team itself?
Right.
That's about the culture and the tools, but also shaped by the very software that we're dealing with.
It's what was the priority? What was the priority? You can't get away from this. It's always trade-offs. You can't make a code easily extend, maintainable, modular, debuggable, monitorable, all that stuff. At the same time, when you're trying to do product market fit, you just go too slow. You're just not going to get there. You'll go out of business if you're trying to do all that stuff at the same time as you're doing what the hell are we trying to make for those customers, so we can get a shoe in somewhere. Can we even do it? Is it possible for the people with my knowledge that do I have the capability of doing it in the time allotted? It's like we don't see all the people that have tried it, and you see it on YouTube sometimes. Sometimes the people are honest about it. It's like, man, this stuff is a lot harder than you think. It's like, oh yeah, because a lot of it's like luck. I know. Why is it not meritocratic all the way down? It's because people are fickle, man. One day they want this, next day they want that, or they find out this thing and they want to do more of that, and they don't want to do the other thing anymore. It's like, damn humans. If the business world would be great if it wasn't for the damn customers, which are human.
So that's kind of an interesting way of thinking about it. But we are certainly seeing, what we're learning is whichever way we look at it, legacy tells you how you're going to spend your time. In fact, that's one of the definitions of architecture that I tend to favor, is that your software architecture tells you where you're going to spend your time. And that may be a good thing or a bad thing, yeah? But it tells you where you're going to spend your time.
Well, your intention of what you're trying to go after is where you're going to spend your time, not your software architecture. Now once you built it and you're trying to live in it and maintain it, all the limitations start to come up, which is what Alan Kay was talking about. So it all eventually comes back to Alan Kay and Yigo Buyeko, how you set these things up at scale, not just miniature applications on a desktop, but your whole application across thing. And that was the whole thing. Alan Kay, he kind of didn't stress that because he had these like a lot of this localized stuff, and by the time he had the distributed stuff, people were ignoring what he had to say because it was just too small talk needed to be killed, man, and move on to something else, something more like HyperCard or SuperCard or something like that. Which I love that thing because it was like Apple had all that stuff. The modern web, they had it back then, but they wanted to keep it proprietary, and then they killed it because they want to keep proprietary applications. So, okay, let's keep going. That was it. All right. I like Kevlin Henney, but he's like it's a little too focused in on how are we doing here? It's a little too focused in on the software-ish technical details of it, as opposed to how these organizations see the market space and how they see their place in it and what software actually is. It's just our best guess and best estimation of getting close to what our customers want in the time allotted and how much resources we have to get there. And sometimes you get lucky. A lot of times it takes a long time. It's like that, an overnight success takes about 20 years. There's that kind of stuff, man. And there's also lucky, man. Right place, right? Keep it going. Even when things people are like, that's ridiculous, that's silly, nobody would want that. It's like, oh no, I see in our customers that I see an opportunity here because I'm in the market, or I see things where someone came to me and they showed it to me and they were like, oh, if we just do this thing over here, then we'll have access. It's like, you're not gonna know until you try, right? And then people try some crazy stuff, and some of it works, and look crazy stuff. It's like, okay, well, it looks crazy from the outside. It was crazy. We don't really hear about most of that stuff, right? It just flips up and flips out. So there's this confirmation bias in software development that needs to be addressed. All right, give me a like and subscribe, and I'll continue on my ranting.